What's going on YouTube? Today I'm here to show you how to do a coolant service on this 2013 Honda Ridgeline. Now if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please subscribe so I can continue to make videos like this to make your life easier. Let's get started. Now the most crucial thing you want to do is make sure your engine's completely cooled down for at least a couple hours, and then slowly crack your radiator cap open to make sure there's no pressure. If you don't hear it hissing any, this one's not. Set your cap aside. Now if you're doing this at home, you're going to be laying on the ground unless you got some ramps so you can get the truck up a little higher, but it sits up pretty high. You probably wouldn't even need ramps. I'm going to show you how to access this drain plug. Now this is a 2013 model. It might be a little different on some of the older or newer models, but this applies to the 2013 model with a 3.5 liter V6. Okay, now that we're up high enough, I'm going to grab my drain, and if you look right here, grab a flathead screwdriver. Right in the front on the passenger side, there's a little cover. Pop that off, set it aside. If you look up in here, there's a drain plug right there. Now we're going to twist that counterclockwise. Get your drain ready. There you go. You don't have to take the drain plug all the way out. Just loosen it a good bit to where it's coming out nice and fast. Get out of the way. Let me wipe my glasses off. Got splashed. Trying to not get splashed here. Now the Honda coolant, it's blue. You don't have to use Honda coolant. I'm using the universal green, already pre-mixed 50-50. And if you don't have pre-mix, you're gonna have to mix it yourself. But at my job, we got big drums of already pre-mixed coolant. I would buy probably at least 2 gallons just to be safe. And if you don't use the second gallon, don't open it up until you know you need it. That way you can take it back and get your money back. Now if your coolant's not that dirty, you only need to do this one time. But if your coolant comes out really dark and nasty, you might want to do this a couple times. Start the car up, warm it up, let it cool down. That way everything mixes in the engine block. Because the only thing you get out of this is when you drain it, it's just out of the radiator. You still have antifreeze in the engine block. It's getting close to being done, so I'm thinking probably about a half gallon to a gallon. But if you repeat this procedure a couple times after warming it up, you'll eventually flush out the block too. But if it's not that dirty, there's no need to do all that unless you want to do it. It's your choice, it's your money. Antifreeze ain't cheap. Reach up in there. I'm going to pull that plug all the way out. That way it speeds up the process so I don't bore y'all to death. Trying to avoid getting splashed. Alright, now once you start seeing it just kind of trickle like that, it could do that for an hour. You've got the majority of it out, so go ahead and reach back up in there. Put your plug back in. Turn it till it stops. You ain't got to tighten it like crazy because it's plastic, you'll break it. I'm going to go ahead and put my little cover back in too. Notice that arrow that says front, that means towards the front of the vehicle. Stick it up in there and it'll click in. And we're going to lower her down and put coolant in it. Yeah, I got to do a flat repair on this bad boy too. Already pulled the nail out. Make your mark so you don't know. So you know where it's at. Make sure this drains out of the way. Turn this fan off in case y'all are picking up any noise. Now, in previous videos y'all seen, I've recommended a no-spill funnel. They're like $20, $25 online. You can buy them on Amazon. Pretty sure Harbor Freight sells them too. It's a good investment because it works. It comes with all different adapters. I mean, for all different makes and models. And it helps bleed the system out too of any air. And the adapter you're going to need for this one, they're color coded on this one. It's this green one. Stick it in there. Just turn it until it's tight, sealed. Funnel in. And start pouring coolant. Now you're going to want to pour coolant until it stops. Force all the bubbles out with this funnel. It allows the system to bleed out because it sits higher than the radiator. So as the car is running, it's going to push any trapped air out. Go ahead and put some more in there. So far that's a gallon. Notice all the bubbles getting pushed out as the coolant goes in. Bloop, 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 bloop. That's a funny noise. Funny noise. Sounds like me chugging a beer and watching football. I'm gonna go ahead and fill that funnel up. And even if it still has some in there after the car warms up, that's what this is for. You just cap it off. And whatever coolant's left in your funnel, you can put back in the jug for later. So you will need at least 2 gallons for this, or 1.5 gallons, because notice it stopped. Now, once it stops taking coolant, let's start the vehicle up. And most of the time, if you just drain the radiator, once this stops, more than likely it's not going to take any more coolant. Now, if you did a water pump or something like that and you lost all the fluid in the block, it'll probably eventually drain back down into the engine once the thermostat opens. But most of the time, once it stops, it's going to be full. But I still let the car warm up to operating temperature. And when the car gets all the way to operating temperature, if I see no more air bubbles and there's still antifreeze in this, you're good to go. You just want to cap it off. Thanks.
For now, just that.
Okay.
He's not going to do the stretch until fucking, he just got hit on the way out of here.
Okay. Alright. Notice it's not taking no more coolant, so you don't have to shut the car off. Take this off. Take that out. Put your cap back on. And I'm going to let it sit here and run to operating temperature just to be safe. So I'm pretty sure I can leave y'all with what I just showed y'all. Y'all can figure out the rest. So, like I said, if y'all haven't subscribed already, please subscribe to my channel. Y'all have a good day. Peace out, YouTube.